Everyone, thanks for sticking with me. I took a little bit of a break. That's because I do a lot of stuff in October. I'm still prepping Trial by Fire, don't you worry, but it's a busy month for me. We do Inktober, that's on my Instagram, link down below. My podcast is one horror movie a day for the entire month of October, link down below for that. This episode, we're talking Jim Lee. Do you not know who Jim Lee is? Jim Lee is the greatest living comic book artist we have today. There's literal careers that were started because people aped, they copied, they mimicked Jim Lee. But he's a simp, and he has destroyed DC Comics. We're going to get into it because I'm pissed. I am pissed.
The following is brought to you by AKA Pad.
Come to Papa. Everyone, welcome back. You know we cannot get started until the shades are on. So, it's been a little bit of a break. Now, here's... I got all these things rushing through my mind. We're talking Jim Lee. What is bothering... The same thing bothering me when it comes to... I'm trying to get centered here. The same thing bothering me with Jim Lee, okay, is the same exact, reasons. That's the word I was looking for. Reasons. Same reasons why Eric Larson bothers me. Same reason why Rob Liefeld bothers me. Same reason, even now, like Todd McFarlane bothers me. Cartoonist KFAB, Comics Pop, Comics Explained. It's a very simple reason. Now, I'm not saying these people don't contribute to the greater good, that they haven't done things, that they haven't helped people, but it gets to the point where you're actively witnessing the destruction of an industry. One of the industries that you contributed to. Did I say that right? Let me explain. So, Jim Lee and these other individuals, some of them are like journalists or documentarians or historians. You gain influence. Again, I had the same issue with Max Landis. You have influence, you have a voice, you make a product that people want, and then you just stop. Now, maybe you've had like a 10-15 year run, and that run is just good enough to put you into your elderly years and pay for your house and your kids going to school and these life things, okay? Look, as I'm making this video, Jim Lee's on the boat. Like, can we put that up there or here? Jim Lee's on the boat, okay? You know, and it gets to the point where it's like Jim Lee got into the game to become executive branch. Like, looking back, just seeing how much better he organized Wildstorm Studios, Wildstorm Productions, the transition from Homage to Wildstorm, all of these things. Like, Jim Lee had this intent, and along the way, he created an art style that I'm going to show you because I have a stack. I've been putting the comics to the side to maybe decide to make this video about just the individuals that were able to launch careers and have a chance just because they were ripping Jim Lee off. That's major influence, and few people have that type of stroke in comics and in any industry. Now, comics is so much easier to notice because comics is small. Little baby, like right there. Where are we at? Little baby. Comic industry, little baby. So Jim Lee, you know, look, we all know about his career. He gets in ground level, creates the version, just visually, of the X-Men. The version, okay? No, like even today, if it's a 90s yellow strap Cyclops action figure that comes out, statue, people people buy it. People go crazy for it. Jean Grey, his proportions for Wolverine, okay? His poses and the things that were echoed in comics at the time from Jim Lee, within Wildstorm and without. His poses for the careers, because people just copied them. So Jim Lee becomes like this influence, this executive. He curates properties, publishing record, like a like he was consistent with Wildstorm. All of these things to later sell it, and clearly, Heroes Reborn was some type of audition for a sale. I think we know the reasons why that didn't happen. I'm forgetting them right now, but yeah, and so it's. You go through that, you get absorbed by DC Comics. You basically become executive director, something, and you draw. You just draw on the side. You draw for fun. You do Hush. You bring in this new era for the Dark Knight. Hey, I remember when that came out. Very exciting when he was drawing Hush. Very exciting. You follow it up with Superman, Brian Azzarello, Stinkfest. That one too. There's no real visuals that even came out of his Superman follow up to Hush. And so we have this guy, and he becomes the third guy. He just moves up the chain, and now he is DC. He is DC Comics now. I've always had this bone to pick. Jim Lee's style is a Marvel comic book style. The excitement, the line work, the use of blacks, the awesomeness just screams Marvel. It doesn't really scream DC. It never really did. His style never fit within DC Comics. And you kind of would know that, and then you're like, well, he can draw the Dark Knight. A lot of people can. That's why the character is what it is. But the Dark Knight fits him a little bit more, because we forget that during his Wildstorm days, there was a really good stretch where he was spending more time with Deathblow than Wildcats. Deathblow was the character people wanted to see. No one really cared about him drawing Wildcats, but I will say, I think it's Wildcats 7, Wildcats, X-Men, Silver Age crossover. That is his absolute best work outside of Divine Right. Look up Divine Right. Divine Right is his opus, and it's gone. It's right down the memory hole. So he gets in. Then you're running the company, thank you COVID and these other things. Geoff Johns, who I thought always would run DC Comics, because the dude is an absolute weapon when it comes to being a historian. Geoff Johns moves into Hollywood, and it's one disaster after the next. I mean, look, if you cannot get the right elements within the Green Lantern movie, not saying it had to be a great movie, because great movies and good movies, they're tough to make. Usually you get a little bit lucky when you make a good movie. It's not by design, but it's Green Lantern just didn't have this punch. Geoff Johns was he had his claws in it. That was his property. There was no way that should have been what it was. And then we move forward, maybe 10 more years working within the DC entertainment side, and you're out. And then you're just a writer executive that doesn't have no hope to overcome Jim Lee, to take the company over and be a true editor-in-chief, continuity based, because everyone's got continuity scaries right now. So Jim Lee ascends to this level just mostly because Geoff Johns doesn't perform in Hollywood. A lot of people miss that point. Along the way, DC shreds more executives, they shred distributors, They're shredding their own characters, and they're pushing this thing called 5G. Now, if we take the last like 3 years into like the constant reboots that DC has had, Jim Lee's been involved with those conversations. He's been involved with those decisions. Some of those were his suggestions. And at the same time, you're watching the comic book industry. You're on the boat, Jim. You're on the boat. Good for you. But like, you watch the industry get whittled down, and you know the reasons, because we all know the reasons. This forced diversity, this forced I'm like struggling for the exact terminology to like. I just can't think tonight. That's why I need more of this. But no, like it's like these companies, they get into identity politics. They get into things that are good. Like, all these things are good. Diversity, identity politics, a lot of it's good. I'll be the first one to admit that. But not letting editorial drive the company, drive the stories, drive your sales, and you placate to like a very small percentage of the user base, of the audience that really doesn't spend the money. Like, the people that spend the money on DC, they're old heads, they've been in the game for a long time, and they're also your advocates. These are the people who are dropped $40 for a new animated series, whatever figure, just because it has like another elbow joint, okay? This is your audience. And along the way, you completely abandon Wildstorm. All these other properties you nurtured to get your sale are gone. This DC 5K or whatever it's called. It's got can I throw that? It's got grifters in this team shot. If there's any of these characters, you need get Deathblow and put him in Suicide Squad, and then over here you get Gen 13, and you move them into Teen Titans, and we mix. Fairchild, Grunge would be awesome as Teen Titan members. Whatever, like there's just so many mess. I would do a world's. I'm just going off the tip of the brain here. I would do a world's finest comic. Get this, right? Green Arrow, Mr. Majestic, and get Joe Casey. Get Joe Casey to write the F out of that. So, I don't know, people. Like, Jim Lee is just another silent dude. Silent as everything burned. Todd McFarlane, silent as everything burns. Even Rob Liefeld with the Robservations podcast. Whatever. Like, I didn't listen to it. There is a Fighting American one of those that I'm very curious about. Okay. Silent, though. You're not, you think you're saying things, you think you're pinpointing stuff. These other accounts, YouTubers, way bigger than me, they have zero say. They don't have a voice. They skirt around it. I mean, I'd love some of these new review comic book shows where they literally, like, there's some skill in these live streams discussions, but I give some of them credit because they can't talk about everything. They skirt around all the issues, but they get like one issue and they make like a 14-minute long like dissertation on it. Like that's impressive. That's impressive because you have an hour to fill up when you live stream that stuff. I mean, like, I remember back in the day, I used to come home with like this. Like, this was weekly comics for me every single week. It used to be it used to be Friday, then it became like, I think it's Wednesday now. But yeah, and it's like all of this stuff. And like, but it's like, even today, people post a haul. They're like, oh, here's my haul. Like, this is my haul because our price points are crazy. So, like, and Jim Lee was in a position to say, look, like, a-holes, I came up in this industry. I used to be a doctor, whatever. And it's like, or went to school for, I think he went to school to become a doctor. I don't know if he got his PhD, but it's kind of like you just let it go. You just let it go just so you can be executive. Like, I don't know. Like, I know a lot. I work with someone. I work with executives. They don't do anything. They don't. And you're a comic book one, and the only thing you just have to do. Jerry Conway doesn't even understand this. Cheaper comics, continuity, the characters we want, new characters, zero identity politics, zero diversity. Just make cool things. Tom McFarlane can't even say that. What's the deal? Okay, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm sorry. I'm just my brain is okay. But before we go, let me just show you some comics that people they're just Jim Lee ripoffs, because we gotta give the guy some credit. Here, look, Seeker. I'm just going to like show you a bunch of these. Okay? Like, it's crazy. Okay? Like, I'm not even sure if some of these are. Okay? Like, okay, and then upcoming. Cause here's the thing. I'm working really hard to do one video a day. Over here, like Trial by Fire. Look. I'm a little bit of an a-hole hypocrite at this point. I'm struggling to get one book out, and I'm complaining about Jim Lee. But whatever. So the idea is to continue the rollouts for the comic book discussions. A lot of people seem to like those. I just wanted to preview some of those coming up. Okay? So we have New York City Outlaws. Anyone that followed me on Twitter saw this one. I was insanely happy to get this one, the Chain Gang. I found this in like $1 box. Ebony Warrior, like really, look, another Jim Lee like ripoff though. Look, I found this. This blew my mind when I found this. I got this for cover. I paid $20 for it. Yeah, continuing Chaos Comics, and look, this will be my next, probably next video. Okay, we will do the Dune Straczynski adaptation. We have to, cause everything's about Dune right now. But yeah, look everyone. Part of my slowdown was my father passed away. It was just one of those super sudden things. The reason why we're doing Dune is the last discussion I had with my pops was about the Dune trailer, because I sent it to his phone, and I think he had trouble like watching it, and I was trying to explain it to him. But like we were talking on the Amazon Echo screen, and which we kind of did. But yeah, so like that was a just like a moment in my life where, dude, people, we all know the time that we have. We're going to go. You, the AKA Pad Army, and me, we're going to go. It's going to be gas, floor. I'm going to try my hardest, one video a day. We're going to do Trial by Fire. Over here, if you want to see what I'm drawing, what I'm working on, just follow me on Instagram, AKA Pad69. Follow me on Twitter, AKA Pad. We go hard. We don't sleep. We work out. We drink. We eat good food. We do junk food reviews. This is me. We look. I even have a podcast. Okay, everyone. I love you. I guess I'm not even going to edit this video. Rock and roll. Till next time. Until next time, people.